Allan, you are already in the last part of the season, and here 2 races after Berlin at home. Here we can say that this is also your home. And after change life,
Yep.
what do you feel?
It's funny because naturally when a season comes to an end, you've got a real focus on those final races. But especially this year for us, because we know that it's not just the season, but also our time in Formula E as a works team. This won't be here in season 8, but in that respect, we want to make sure we go out on a high. We've worked very hard with our new car and our new powertrain, with Rennie and Lucas, and we come here to London in the mix of the championship. But in reality, because it's so competitive at the moment in the teams and also in the drivers, that all of our energy is on this race here. And Berlin, which is the last one, we'll start to lift up and look at when it comes to Monday morning. And then the future after that, then we'll think about after Berlin. But it's an exciting time, but I do know that when we do close the chapter after Berlin, then it'll be a little bit sad for us, because there's a lot of this team and also from us at Audi Sport have put a lot of time and emotion and passion, and we've had some great success here as well. And we've grown with the championship. We've been part of that development of electric racing in Formula E. However, today we focus on this one.
And how is possible to keep the mentality in the focus in the race? And of course, as you say, you won some races not a lot of time ago, and is in very good position also in the fight for the championship. But you know that when finish is finished. How is possible to keep the motivation?
Motivation is based on competition, which is based on your target, and that's to win. And so from that respect, you've got a target of winning the race and focus on that, and then you've got a target of championship. And I think we've got to remember that this is a world championship. It's not just another series, it's a world championship. And that, I think, creates the energy to do it. If you're competitive and you've got a chance, there's no question, you keep going. I think the difficulty is if you're nowhere in the field, if you're always at the back, then that's going to be difficult to keep the motivation. But for us, we don't have that problem. We've got certainly enough motivation to take us to Berlin.
And after Formula E, what will do Allan McNish?
Well, Allan McNish has been pretty busy in a lot of things. I still do a lot of other things except Formula E within Audi, with the group motorsport, and also with new projects that are coming through, and looking at the future of how motorsport's evolving. And that's going to take up more of my time, as Formula E will take up less of my time. And so there's a changing in not just necessarily the team chapter in its book, but also another chapter in my book as well, which is, again, that's an exciting point for the future.
This adventure of Formula E was for you, like for a lot of others, the first time with electric cars. What leave the electric car and this world completely different that you lived before?
I think what this championship did was it allowed everybody to review what had always happened in the past, the history. And it came with fresh ideas. It technically, obviously being electric, then it was a fresh way of doing things, but also the opportunities it brought, like things like attack mode or fan boost or racing inside an arena. And maybe come this way. Racing inside an arena, doing things that you could never do if it was an internal combustion engine. You know, we've raced in New York, we've raced in Paris, we're racing in London. Never possible in other championships.
Russia, Moscow.
Exactly. So we've been able to go to areas that we've never seen before. And as much as some things have been, I would say, a learning road, but there's a lot of things that we'll take into what we do in the future. And this is, I think, a positive step. So for me personally, I've remembered that the future ahead is really exciting, and you've still got to be agile, you've still got to be open, and you've still got to adapt to what is needed for the future, just not because that's how we did it in the past. And to me, that was a really good reminder for us in motorsport community that we have to continue to evolve and continue to adapt.
Thank you, and good race here in London.
Thank you very much.